According to creditcards.com, 10% of millennials aged 18 to 37 routinely leave no tip when they go out to eat at restaurants. Additionally, 1 in 3 Americans routinely tip less than 15% when they go out to eat. Today I would like to discuss with everyone why you should almost always tip your servers by the proper performance amount. In addition to working in restaurants since I was 16 years old and currently serving at Carrabba's, I have done extensive research into server wages throughout the country, as well as researched into the performance tipping standard that servers and restaurants are expecting you to tip. There are many reasons why you should tip properly when you go out to eat. Many people who haven't worked in restaurants don't realize how incredibly difficult it is to serve, as well as how reliant we servers are on customer tips as our main source of income. In the next few minutes, I would like to discuss with everyone the basic duties of servers, how the U.S. federal minimum wage applies to servers, and the basic tipping standards that restaurants and servers are expecting you to follow in order to hopefully convince everyone to tip properly. To start off, I'd like to discuss server duties and how they're paid. Serving is a lot more difficult than many people make it out to be. Multitasking is the basic essence of being a good server, and it's a trait that many people don't recognize or praise when they go out to eat. In addition to the basic serving duties such as learning an entire menu, refilling drinks, and running food, servers are tasked to do side work during all of that. Side work could be cleaning tables, cleaning bathrooms, rolling bins of silverware, sweeping the floor, making batches of tea and lemonade, etc. And that's not taking into account that when a server's section is full, they could be waiting on up to 20 guests at a time while they're expected to do all of that. So as you can see, serving is an incredibly difficult job, and the low hourly wage we get paid is definitely not worth it in relation to how hard the job is, especially when people don't tip or don't tip properly. So one of the reasons that people decide not to tip or tip poorly is because they expect our employers to pay us a high amount of hourly pay, and that our tips are just a bonus money that we get to pocket at the end of the night. And while this is technically true, many individuals don't realize how low our server's hourly wage actually is. In the United States, restaurants are allowed to not follow the federal minimum wage set in 43 states. Florida is one of those 43 states. So according to the U.S. Department of Labor, an employer of a tipped employee is only required to pay $2.13 per hour in direct wages if that amount, combined with the tips received from customers, at least equals to the federal minimum wage. So many states pay slightly more than the $2.13 regulated by the government. Florida, for example, pays $5.44 according to minimumwage.org, which is how much I get paid. So as you can see, the government and our employers expect the customers to tip every time they come in and eat. And when they don't, we servers are essentially working for less than minimum wage, which is not worth it in relation to how difficult the job truly is. So why should you, the customers, care about tipping your servers? Apart from the reasons already discussed, when the server is expecting a table to tip properly, that generally means better service from the server. Additionally, not tipping is seen as an overall negative quality and can be quite a turnoff when you're trying to impress someone when you go out to eat. So now that you understand why this is so important to tip your servers, I would like to share the widely accepted tipping standards that you're expected to follow. Most people follow the performance tipping standard, where you tip a certain percentage of the total check depending on the quality of your server. If the server is okay, then you can tip about 15% of the total check, and if the service is good, you can get tipped about 20% of the total check. If the service is extraordinary, it's not uncommon or unwelcomed for the customers to tip beyond that 20% of the total check. Some people may decide to not tip or tip poorly due to an error made by the server, which is acceptable depending on how severe the error the server makes is. However, what most people don't realize is half of the time the kitchen is making the error, and the mistakes are completely out of the server's control. when the kitchen messes up, for example, taking too long to cook an item or cooking the item incorrectly, the server is the one who deals with the angry customer as well as takes a hit to their pay, as the kitchen staff isn't affected by tips and they make their own high amount of pay hourly. So when deciding to leave a poor tip for your server because of an error they made, make sure that they made the error and that the error was within their control. So now that you understand how to properly tip servers, let's look at what happens when you don't tip the server. So as I stated previously, when you go out to eat and leave a poor tip, it causes the following things. It causes the server to essentially work for less than minimum wage. It causes the hosts, bus, and bartenders that the server is required to tip out to lose money, while also making your character look bad, which is a major turnoff to many individuals who are trying to impress. So as you can see, by spending a few extra dollars, the positives of tipping far outweigh the negatives. So in conclusion, the next time that you're eating out at a restaurant, I urge you to leave a proper tip. And by leaving a good tip, you're helping the struggling college student as well as that mother or father who's trying to make ends meet. Thank you. And here's that speaking outline again. Thank you.